I am going to look at taking standard titles and basically tweaking them to look a little bit more like subtitles. So I have my titles window open here on the bottom right hand corner, and I have my inspector open up here on the top right hand corner, and I will be using the inspector to tweak my titles. I will throw in one shortcut here. I am going to be pressing Command 2 quite a lot. I'm going to be doing that to activate my timeline. I want to activate my timeline because I'm using Final Cut as a player, and I want to use JKL and the arrow keys to find the appropriate place where I want to add my title. And before I do that, I'm going to do one more thing. In the titles browser, I'm going to go down here to the lower third section, and I'm going to take a lower third title. The idea being that these turn up in the lower third of the screen, and some of these are obviously over the top. I'm going to take something pretty simple like the information bar here. Command 2, I activate my timeline, JKL, and the arrow keys left and right to get to the place where I want to insert my first title. I select my title in the titles browser and I press Q to connect it to the primary storyline. Couple of things going on here. If we are really paying attention, we will notice that this title is called Titles. And if I open up down here just for a second, this timeline index, I will also see that the role title has been added to the role list. So let's just undo that and let's redo that. I see titles turns up here in my timeline index. And of course I also, if I move over here to the information tab with this title selected, I also see here titles. It's already been automatically assigned for me. So I have my title, I've added it to the timeline. I want to make this a little bit more like a subtitle. So with the title selected, I come over here to the inspector and I can change some stuff. So I can do some pretty standard stuff. In this case, I have two text elements and the first text element is selected. So I'm going to come in here and I could actually start by entering some dummy text. Obviously I would be listening to the clip and I will be adding the relevant text, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just doing a dummy text. And this gives me an idea of how many words I can get in here into the space that I have at my disposal. I'm going to come and I'm going to delete that second line of text because that's going to just make things a little bit complicated. So I select it in my timeline viewer and I delete it here in my inspector. I make sure that my first text element is highlighted, which is this guy here. I just click on that to select it and I come in here to the inspector again and I can tweak stuff. I can tweak the font, for example. I can change the color of the font, all that kind of stuff. And I also have a section here and it's called bar color. Let's just change this rather than talking about it. I select it here and I'm going to select a red background and it's easy to see what's going on here. Obviously I've changed the color of my bar. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do some more tweaking. I'm going to adjust the length of that so it goes across the full length of the screen. And I'm going to come in here, I'm going to do some more tweaking. I want to center my text, so I'm going to move over here into the text tab of the inspector and press that little center button, and then I can come down here into the advanced section and right down here at the kind of here towards the bottom I have a thing called the baseline, and I can move this up and down to center my text in the middle of my bar. In this case it's a red bar, semi-transparent background. So assuming that I have got my first element of my first subtitle entered and I'm happy with the actual text that's in there. I want to check the timing, so I want to make sure that it has the right length. I am currently inside Final Cut, so in this case I would want to trim this so it's not too long, and then I would come and I would press play and I would listen for the next text element that I want to enter, the next piece of dialogue. So I'm going to enter it here. So in this case I'm just going to copy my first title that I just basically built on the fly, and I'm going to paste it. So Command C for copy and Command V for paste. And now I come in here, and obviously I'm listening to what I'm saying. I want to look at optimizing the interface. So I'm going to come in here and then I enter the relevant text here into that second title. I press escape to get out of that editing modus, and I can come in here and I want to look at optimizing the interface. Again, I can do some tweaking for the timing. And that's basically what I'm doing over and over again as I work my way through the timeline. It's an exercise in copy and paste. I'm copying and pasting the subtitle template. Well, it's not even a template, it's a subtitle that I basically built on the fly in my timeline.